everybody. Welcome to play 4 of your cowl. Are you excited? I can't wait. So, last week we had, play 1, play 2 was on either side. Play 3 grew off of one side of your play 2. Well, your other play 2 is lonely, so we're going to grow play 4 off the other side. If you looked at the schematic, play 4 looks like it's flipped upside down. It's because that's what you're going to do. You're going to flip it upside down and grow from the other side. So we have a panel on that side too. All right. The theme this week is all about texture. Doesn't matter if you're doing the Netflix and chill all the way to the Tunisian. It's about texture, but not texture in doing unusual, crazy things. It's texture in doing stitches that you already know, just putting them in a different place. And magical ways that make this texture without really doing too much extra effort, which I find really fun and just enjoyable. So this week is all about enjoying the ride, kind of how it is. Now, your pictures on the Marley's Minions Facebook group have been fantastic. Please keep posting. We just love checking them out. And it makes everybody's day. I gotta say, besides mine and Marley's and Chrissy and everyone in the birdhouse, it makes us all so happy to see it for everybody who's joining in. So thank you so much for taking your time to do that. We super appreciate it. And please don't forget, after you finish your play 4, do it again. All right, that's enough of that. Now, hopefully you have your yarn and your hook and maybe your pattern directions, because let's get into it. Are you ready? I can't wait to start crocheting with you. So come join me at my table and we'll see what we got cooking this week. All right. The Be Quiet, I'm counting. Play 4. So here is a little bit of what it looks like. Again, texture. We were talking about texture in the cowl. This one also has a lot of texture. We have these little V stitches all throughout our pattern, which gives it a really nice texture. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything in the Be Quiet is all texture. It will be a stunning cowl if this is the one that you're choosing. We have all of, our great texture in play 2 and our wonderful texture in play 3. Play 4 only builds on it. Really, it only builds on it with all of these extra stitches. But there's nothing in here that is a fancy stitch. Nothing in here. It's just how we are layering in our stitches is what's going on here. Before we show that, I want to talk a minute about the schematic, because you may have looked at it and gone, why is that upside down? So let me just walk through it. And to that fact, let me change our little video swatch around so you can see it in all of its glory. Yeah. So this is the orientation of how we crochet it. So if you look at play 1, this is our play 1. We started at the base and we worked our way up. Started the base and worked our way up. Play 2, we're working out. So play 2 has been worked out. Then, of course, play 3 was after you did your foundation, you joined it, and then we worked up. Then we worked up. Play 4, as you can see over on this side, is almost like it's being worked upside down, because that's what you're going to do. You flip your cowl around so that you're joining in the same spot as play 3. So there's nothing different in how you join them together. It's joined the same. So while we're working, so we're going up, we actually have our work, quote unquote, upside down, meaning the last rows of play 3 line up with the foundation of play 4. So that's how it's worked out. But how you're joining, that's all the same. I just know that this can, be a little bit confusing. Now, the main thing, like I was saying last time, I don't really care which way you orientate yourself. I just want to make sure that all of the right side is on the right side, because in Be Quiet, it really matters, right? We have all of this texture on the right side. We don't have that texture on the wrong side. So we want to make sure it's that we're joining. So this texture as well will be on the right side. So it'll be seen. Now, let's just take a minute and look at our stitch diagram. As you can see, all of the stitches are standard stitches. Yes, we have a big one. We have a double treble. It's a long stitch. But even if you look inside of here, all of these stitches are things that you can do with a caveat. How you treat your double treble, this is the whole trick to this pattern, is how you get that texture. Because it's not going into the row that you normally would go into, it's going another row below. So it's 2 rows below the one you're working on, which is no big deal. It's totally fine. But that's the whole trick to it. How you join it on the side, that's the same. How you do your double crochets, your foundation double crochets, that's all the same. The difference is just working in these double treble. So let's get moving. I'm going to change my color just so that you can see it a little bit easier while I'm working. So I'm going to just work in a different color just so we can see what we're doing. I am going to be working on a right side row, which is the odd rows. If you looked at the stitch diagram, you know, for the first half, not all of them, not the start or right before you get to the center, but all of these are all the same row. So I'm going to join my yarn just so that we have a little bit of a color contrast. This stitch pattern also works if you want to do stripes. It comes up with a really, really nice color palette. Not quite mosaic, but it does have a very nice color palette if you like to do one stripe of each color. All right, in our first stitch, we will do a stack stitch, which we're used to. That's a single crochet in the first stitch. Then take that single crochet, split your hook in half of it. So we get our stack stitch. Next thing is a chain one. And what you'll find is those chain ones is leaving holes in our work, because this is what's going to happen. We're going to have a double crochet chain one so that we have a space to go when we do our next stitch. Skip one, do a double crochet in the next one. All right, nothing exciting there. Now we get to the fun part. Now we're going to do a double treble, not in this chain one space, but in the stitch down here that is empty. So we're going to yarn over 3 times. That's the double treble. I'm going to insert my hook into the skip stitch, and you'll see that I'm inserting it from the front to the back, but I'm making sure that the row I'm not working on is folded behind. So it's not being wrapped up in my stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now I come back and I'm going to put a double crochet into that chain one space. I'm going to put another double treble in the same space. So yarn over 3 times. Insert your hook into that same spot. Pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So the whole key is to make sure those double trebles are not connected. They're not looped around in any way. They sit above the work. You can see you can stick your hook in them. All right, you skip the stitch, then the very next stitch into the next stitch with a double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet in the next one, and let's do our double trebles again. So again, a double treble, yarn over 3 times, insert your hook into the skipped stitch. The way I do it is I'm going from the front to the back under those top 2 loops to yarn over from the front, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Then do a double crochet in the chain one space, Now do a double treble in the same spot. So I'm again going through those 2 loops, making sure I'm yarning over from the front and then working them off. Skip the next one, do a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next stitch. All right. So that is the key to this row, is making sure that these double crochets are only worked in the front. So when you're yarning over, you got to make sure that yarn over is in the front. It's a little bit of a managing how you hold your yarn. So making sure that it is in the front, it's not getting wrapped around your work. That's the key to this stitch pattern for this row. We'll get to the end of the row here and we'll look and see how the next one works. Yarn over 3 times. So the other thing I like to do is kind of fold this over, so I make sure that I'm not by accident wrapping my yarn over around. You'll notice I have a very loose hold on that, on my tail, the working yarn that is, because I don't want it to get all twisted up in the work. I want to make sure that it is being able to be in the front when I want it in the front, in the back when I want it in the back. So the pattern across is just the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, treble, double treble, double crochet, double treble. All right, we have one more repeat. Double crochet. So it's kind of going, working 2 rows below, working in your row, working 2 rows below, working in your row. You kind of get into that rhythm. Now when you're at the end, you'll have 3 stitches left. You'll do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So that is what it looks like. You can see it nice and bold with the other color, how you can really see those V's nice and bright. When you get to the end here, skip a stitch, slip stitch to the next one, then slip stitch twice more. So you got 3 slip stitches all together. Turn our work. I'll only do a few of these because they're really not that different. There's just one little key. The first thing you're going to do is do a double crochet in the first double crochet. That's the same. That hasn't changed. Then you're going to do a double crochet in the next double crochet in the next chain 1 space. That's fine. Now we're going to put a double treble. But instead of inserting our hook so that essentially the stitch will be in front, I want it in the back. So we're going to insert our hook from the back into the skip stitch. Now I'm kind of folding my work in front of me and I'm keeping my yarn over in the back so I can do the double treble. So the double treble will sit in the back. All right, let's put in our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and do this one more time. So it's yarn over 3 times. That's the same. This time you insert your hook from the back in the skips stitch. So I like to kind of fold it over so I can insert my hook there. Do our double treble. Now double crochet into that chain space. Then do another double treble by inserting your hook. Just fold that in front so you can make sure you can grab into this stitch. And you have gotten it right. Let me finish with this double crochet over here so you can see. If they are not all wrapped up, you don't want these stitches wrapped up. So you want them to be able to sit above. You know, these are not joined into the fabric. They're sitting above the work. So when you're on the right side, make sure your stitch is sitting on the right side. When you're on the wrong side, make sure these double trebles are sitting on the wrong side of your work. And that little trick is all that there is to the stitch pattern. It's just that one tiny little trick, and then you get all of this texture. There's a lot of texture. You can kind of see it when I turn it. A lot of 3D texture, but no special stitches other just than where you're sticking your hook is the only special stitch. So I know you got this. I'm going to let you go, have fun. You will need to pay a bit of attention when you're doing these. That's why it's in the be quiet, but I know you got this and you're going to have a great time. So go crochet and enjoy. I'll see you soon. All right. So hopefully you can see this week will be super enjoyable and it's going to be a lot of fun. That play 4. Now, when you're done, we only have one play left. We got play 5 left. So we have these, you'll have these 3 panels with kind of play 2 skinny going in between them. You might be able to guess what play 5 is going to do because obviously it's a cowl. So at some point we need to attach it and clean up all the bits. So I'm sure you can guess what's going to come in play 5, but stick around. I might have some tricks up my sleeve for next week. In the meantime, just enjoy this week. Just enjoy play 4. Have a great week. Don't forget, keep posting those wonderful pictures in the Marley's Minions Facebook group. And that's it. Enjoy, and I will see you shortly for play 5. Unbelievable. We're nearly there. All right. See you soon.